Hello, everyone. I'm Kenshin. Welcome to History Talks. Today's historical discussion is about Maurice Papon, who hid his collaboration with the Nazis. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. We all know that after less than 3 months of Nazi Germany invading France, many politicians chose to collaborate with the Nazis. The most famous, of course, was French Marshal Philippe Pétain, who succeeded as Prime Minister and sought peace with Nazi Germany. But today, I won't talk about him. Instead, I'll focus on Maurice Papon, who managed to conceal his collaboration until incriminating evidence was unearthed during a historical investigation. Born on September 3, 1910, in the affluent suburbs of Paris in the Seine-et-Marne region, Maurice Papon came from a prestigious family. His father was a successful lawyer, and he obtained a law degree from the Sorbonne University. In 1935, he joined the French Ministry of the Interior and the following year, the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where he helped formulate the country's diplomatic policies towards Morocco, Tunisia, and the Middle East. His most advantageous ability was his adaptability to different political environments. In 1936, when Léon Blum led the Popular Front government, Maurice Papon, during his spare time, edited a magazine called French Foreign Affairs Review. However, in 1938, when France signed the Munich Agreement with Germany, leading to a purge of French diplomats, Papon was demoted to the French consulate in Sfax. However, after the Nazi invasion of France, Papon realized he had the opportunity to use his position to assist France and decided to collaborate with the German authorities, becoming a spy. He provided information to the German authorities about French resistance activities, leading to the arrest and deportation of many individuals. As Nazi Germany entered France and the Vichy puppet government was established, Maurice Papon chose not to join General de Gaulle's French resistance movement based in London and instead aligned himself with the Vichy government. His fervent nationalism led to his rapid advancement, with 5 promotions within a year and a half. In June 1942, at the age of 31, his close friend, Sabatier, was appointed as the prefect of Bordeaux, while Papon was appointed as the prefect's secretary. Following the liberation of France in 1944, Papon was appointed as the commissioner of the Republic of Bordeaux. Despite Sabatier's dismissal, he became the prefect of Landes. He remained in Bordeaux until October 1945 when he was once again appointed as the Minister of the Interior. He subsequently held various positions, including Prefect of Corsica, Prefect of Constantine in eastern Algeria, Secretary-General of the Paris Police Department, and Secretary-General of the French Protectorate of Morocco. 2 months before the fall of the Fourth Republic, he was appointed as the Minister of Police and later received recognition from de Gaulle. In the face of active Algerian nationalism and constant threats to French police, a brutal crackdown on an illegal Algerian nationalist demonstration occurred on the night of October 17, 1961. Hundreds of Algerians were reportedly killed. Additionally, the mysterious kidnapping and disappearance of Moroccan nationalist leader Ben Barka on October 30, 1965, during his tenure, raises suspicions, although it's difficult to establish direct connections. In 1962, he was bestowed with the title of Knight of the Legion of Honor and the Legion of Honor by General de Gaulle, but his tenure as Minister of Police marked the end of his public career. Fast forward to 1981, historian Michel Berg discovered some documents signed by Papon, dating from 1942 to 1944. These documents ordered the deportation of over 1,000 French Jews from the Bordeaux region to the Drancy internment camp, and some were sent to Auschwitz. In a 1939 document, the Nazi occupying forces praised Papon's cooperation, stating that he was very willing to collaborate, cooperated well with the military control headquarters, and was efficient and capable. After the disclosure of these old records, he faced a series of accusations and lawsuits for his crimes against humanity in persecuting Jews. Of course, he staunchly defended himself, repeatedly stating that he neither regretted nor felt guilty. The specifics are as follows. From July 1942 to May 1944, More than 10 trains carrying over 1,600 Jews, including children, left Bordeaux for Auschwitz. Papon received praise from French authorities and Germany for his involvement in the comprehensive roundup of Jews prior to 1943. However, in 1943, he was criticized by Germany for his pro-American stance, and that same year, he helped hide a Jewish member of the resistance, Roger Samuel Bloch. In January 1983, he was first charged with crimes against humanity for his role in the deportation of Jews from 1942 to 1944. After a 15-year investigation, Papon was finally brought to trial in 1997. At the time, with silver hair and dressed in a simple suit, his defense was straightforward. As a public official, he had to obey orders. If he didn't, the Germans would take over and destroy the Vichy French identity. He also claimed to have been a member of the French resistance since 1943, saving many Jewish lives and even removing their names from deportation lists. His defense argued that while he was indeed responsible for deporting Jews to concentration camps, he should not be held responsible for their persecution. The defense further claimed that Papon was never aware of the Nazi plan to exterminate Jews. According to The Economist, during the trial, Papon argued that he had tried his best to save some Jews. For example, he claimed to have removed some names from arrest warrants, hidden a Jewish rabbi in his home. Rabbis are Jewish teachers responsible for teaching Jewish doctrine in synagogues and homes, guiding adolescents, and providing life guidance to adults, and provided clandestine information for some Jewish families. When ordered by the Germans to deport Jews to concentration camps, he also provided humane transportation facilities where possible, using trains to transport the elderly, sick, and disabled to the train station, and using passenger trains instead of freight cars meant for livestock to transport him to the camps. These testimonies precisely indicate that Papon was well aware of the bleak fate awaiting the deported Jews. Court documents show that between 1942 and 1944, Papon assisted in the deportation of 1,690 Jews, including 223 children, most of whom later perished in Auschwitz. During the trial, many Europeans were greatly infuriated by Papon's lack of profound remorse for his crimes. Papon consistently claimed to be a victim of political trials, stating that the trial brought him immense pain, especially as his wife passed away during this period. Nevertheless, on April 2, 1998, after the longest post-war trial, he was found guilty of arresting and deporting French Jews from 1942 to 1944. The jury accepted his plea of ignorance regarding the Nazi death camps at the time, and although the prosecution sought a 20-year sentence, he was ultimately sentenced to 10 years in prison. In 1998, he was convicted of crimes against humanity, and sentenced to 10 years in prison. He immediately appealed and was allowed to return to his home in Seine-et-Marne. According to French law, he was required to report to prison the night before the appeal, but at the age of 88, he fled, claiming that leaving France was the only honorable choice. Naturally, France issued an international arrest warrant, and he was soon found hiding in Switzerland and extradited back to France. Due to his failure to comply with regulations, the appeal was declared invalid, and he was sentenced to prison on October 22, 1999. His health deteriorated while in prison, and he repeatedly applied for early release on health grounds, all of which were rejected by then French President Chirac. In 2002, at the age of 92, he was finally granted parole. Considering his role in the repression in Algeria and the 1961 Paris massacre, it's difficult to have any positive assessment of this individual. In 2007, at the age of 97, he died a few days after undergoing heart surgery. However, his insistence on having the Legion of Honor brought into his coffin sparked anger in French public opinion, with many feeling he was not deserving of such an honor. Gérard Boulanger, who served as the lawyer for many victims of the massacre, told Le Monde after his death, "Maurice Papon never understood nor admitted what he had done. Papon's biggest excuse was his motto as a civil servant: in one's place, seek one's duty." In January 2023, 40 years after his initial indictment, French Justice Minister Éric Dupond-Moretti and Culture Minister Rima Abdul-Malik decided to expedite the process of opening up the trial-related files concerning Papon. Returning to the present day, Macron's discussion of establishing European strategic autonomy in 2023 undoubtedly appeared provocative, suggesting a desire to lead the EU through rhetoric, which could potentially alienate France as an unwelcome member within the EU. However, the change in attitude in 2024, marked by the continuous support for Ukraine's military, could be seen as a reversal from the previous year. This change might be attributed to factors such as rapid decline in public opinion, political crises, and the opportunity presented by Germany's hesitancy, all possibly indicating a desire to reclaim leadership within the EU. What are your thoughts on this?